Hey guys, it's handcrafted by Jason Cooper, back with another video. And if you like these videos, be sure you actually click the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me know that you appreciate this, or drop some comments below too. Today's a little different. Today's not woodworking, it's DIY. Not in the shop, I'm in the laundry room. This is our Whirlpool dryer. I've had it for quite a while, and it is not heating. No hot air coming out of it. It's an electric dryer, so I'm pretty sure that the element is shot. There's a pretty easy way to check with the heating element in these, and I'll show you that in a minute once I get it taken out. But we're going to take this apart, fix it. It's really easy. The first time I ever ran into this, I paid some guy like $100 to fix it, and it turns out for the cost of the parts, it's a very simple fix. Now, just for the record, this is the Whirlpool model right there. You can see it, and it's the starting point. Get your model number. You can get online. You can find the parts you need. Sears Parts Direct is a great place to figure out what the parts are on your machine. Even if you don't buy them there, they've got great schematics and drawings so you can tell what part number you need, and then you can either buy it there or somewhere else like Amazon, which is what I did. All right, so here are the parts. The new heating element there on the left. It came with some other new parts there, a thermostat and such. And it's always a good idea to, before you kind of dig into things, is to find the old part, get it taken out, and then make sure as you put this together, not only do you follow the instructions provided with it, but make sure it matches up with your old one. So let's go ahead and pull the old one out. Start by disconnecting the power, pulling this thing away from the wall, and taking the back off. Just some simple screws. All right, it's a little tight back here, but I've got it pulled away. Went ahead and disconnected power already, but also the exhaust tube. And this just has a series of screws around this perimeter that you have to remove in order to get the heating element, which sits right behind this. So that's the next step. All right, so now the back is off, and this bottom part here is the heating element. You can see there's a seam here, a couple wires to disconnect, and there's a screw on both sides of this, one there. By the way, it's really handy to have one of these 1/4 inch nut drivers. That's what you're going to need. You might have a socket that size and that'll work just fine, but these are great. This one's magnetic, so you don't lose a screw. So a little tip for anytime I'm dealing with something like this, taking something apart, is to use my phone and just take a picture of how everything's connected and what it looks like before I take it apart. That way, if I forget, I can just reference that and I'll be good to go. Obviously, there's two wires here. One comes from above, one comes from below, and you want to, just try to put things back the way they were. But the next step is just to pull this off. That'll be very simple, and disconnect a couple wires. Actually, I should be able to just pull these right off. Wiggle them a little bit. Now these new heater element, boy, that's a booger. Here, came with a new thermostat, and these couple other little parts, and we'll look at that here in a minute. But a couple screws and we'll be out of there. All right, so here's the part that I just pulled out. It's the heating element. Looks kind of like a big toaster element. And you always want to make sure you're fixing the right problem. Because if you're not getting any heat in your dryer, more than likely it's the heater, the heating element, but it could be something else. And what you're going to look for is, you see the electricity comes in on this end and goes out on that end. It's just one big coil, so there's got to be continuity for electricity to pass through in order for them to heat up and heat your air and dry your clothes. So you're looking for a spot where it's broken, and it's a little hard to see, but there's a spot in that coil right there, kind of at the center of the screen, where an element has basically melted through, and now there's an air gap there. You can kind of tell in there, and so we know for sure that this is bad, and so we're going to go ahead and replace it. We got the other one here, and it came with the new thermostat parts. So like I said, you want to make sure you kind of look at what you got. Like there's the old one there, and that's going to be this part. It's going to end up right there, and then there's another sensor that goes at the top end of this that I can show you in a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and get that put together before we stick this back in there. All right, quick update here. That's the old one, old thermostat and plug there. And here's the new one. This one doesn't have the connector like this one does that's built onto it. And so this one's got a jumper wire. But I'll put this back in there and connect the two wires. Screw this in, we should be good to go. Now some of these kits don't come with, all of them don't come with the upper sensor here, which goes, you know, back here right there. And so I'm just going to leave the one I have in now and hold this as a spare. And I'm actually going to pull this thermostat off of here since this heating element is shot. But that thermostat, as far as I know, still worked in that way. I'll have a spare of those. But for now, it's just simple. Get down there and put this thing back in there. Connecting a couple wires, a couple screws. All right, so we got the back on, we got the heating element in, we got it wired up, got it plugged back into the wall, and again, make sure you unplug that when you're working on it, and we're ready to give it a test. I'm going to turn this to some time, make sure it's on high, give it a go. And it's working. Check it here in just a second for heat, but just know with a new heating element, you will get a little bit of a smell at first when it first heats up and starts burning off the crud that's on it from manufacturing. Kind of when you start your furnace up for the first time each year, you get a little burnt smell. You get the same with this, but it just means it's working. And let's go ahead and check it. Not that you'll be able to feel this, but oh yes, we got heat. So our dryer is fixed. All right, that's it for today. How to fix your dryer when it won't heat. Again, this is on some of the older models, the less fancy models without all the computer stuff, but usually it's just a heating element, and usually it's a pretty easy fix, especially if you got a model like this. So hopefully this video is helpful. Don't be afraid to try things yourself. Watch a lot of videos of other people doing it, and then go out and give it a shot. If you're interested in any of these products, I'll drop a link to the heating element, but you have to have the same dryer that I have. For that to be valuable, but also that 1/4-inch nut driver with the magnetic head, that's pretty handy. Works on just about anything where you're dealing with sheet metal, like the back of an appliance, your air conditioner, and gutters, downspouts, stuff like that, same size screws. It's worth picking up one of those for $6 or $8. Anyway, until next time,